Yeah, last regular season game, last of 20. There's no doubt it's been a great grind, or as Georgie would say, a beautiful grind. I think it's coming off the Indiana game, which was a shock, to be honest, in terms of the way, not the way they played, but the way we played. And yet, offensively, we did some awfully good things. Defensively, we didn't compete, and we made a lot of mistakes. Indiana had something to do with that, but we had been so good in practice for 2 days prior that I really didn't expect that. We haven't handled extracurriculars very well, and what I mean by that is outside, when it was the Flying Illini event, when it was senior night, those distractions we've had a challenge with. So we get a Penn State team that is, I think, one of the top 3 talented teams in the league. I think they got the best player in the league. I think Lamar Stevens is an incredibly difficult matchup. I think he's playing extremely well, and they have been lost so many close games. They finally won a close one the other night, got a break, and won a close one against Rutgers at Rutgers. But we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to be much more physical than we were in our last ball game, because they are extremely physical. So, last regular season, we've got a lot to play for.
And what is that first game with Penn State? Does it give you an idea of things that you can change or do differently tomorrow?
Well, they're electric in transition. They are one of the best transition teams in this conference, and they're very good at home in that capacity. They hurt us a great deal with Stevens bringing the ball, with Reeves bringing the ball, and us just not getting matched up. And then it was second shots. They owned the paint. Their physicality, we did a very poor job, even trying to guard Lamar. He had his way. Caught it wherever he wanted, he got it wherever we wanted. We didn't give him much fight. We got to make his touches much harder.
You mentioned the Penn State game, the Indiana game, games where effort and toughness maybe weren't there. Do you take that personally, knowing what you're about and what you want this team to be about?
Yeah, I mean, they were the bully on the playground, and they roughed us up, and that's something I don't take very lightly. And I hope we've got the appropriate fight and mentality going into that. That's who they are. They're playing extremely hard. There's a possession we showed our team in the Rutgers game early, first half, and they have 3 guys lay out, almost knock themselves out, hitting heads, diving for a loose ball. That's what we're in for, and we've got to match that. Those 2 games in particular, we got smoked in the 50-50 loose balls, and that bothers me a lot.
How important is it for you guys to maybe gain a little bit of momentum tomorrow, looking ahead to the Big Ten tourney next week?
Oh, you want to play well. You want to play well, and you want to be who you are and at your best. And we've I hope we get a better Georgie. Georgie's been really fighting a sinus infection for about 10 days. Hasn't been himself. He's been fighting that. So I think he'll be, he's on the mend. He'll be more in tune, and we've got to have those 3 guards play well. And we got to get AJ back on the glass. He went from having 10 to having 0. We've got to have all of our parts play well, and we want that to continue. Kipper's been really good in practice, and that's a nice welcome sight. So you want to play well going into the conference tournament.
Trent mentioned that defensively against Indiana, just the communication wasn't there, and that's something this team has had this season.
I wish I could explain that, Scott. It's funny. We get lapses, we get moments. I mean, we had an example of Aaron just running out and guarding Langford when Georgie was guarding him and left the rim wide open, and they throw it for a dunk. And I mean, it's just simple basketball plays that we got out of sorts with, and we didn't talk. And you can't read somebody's mind You have to communicate it. You have to point it. You have to talk it. And we've spent a lot of time on that. We've been really good at that. We have to be great at that Sunday morning because of their versatility in bringing the ball in transition. And that's, when you look at transition numbers, that's communication. And that's a big area that we got hurt in versus Indiana.
Say after Georgie's game as records in his first double-double that he should be a double-double guy, and more often hasn't been. What have you seen from him rebounding-wise where maybe he's just not getting as many as you think he could or should?
Well, I think it all comes down to effort and goal. And I mean, when you're playing 30-plus minutes a game, you're going to get some that fall in your hands just because of size and where you're located. It's the extra effort. When he was getting 6 a night offensively, he went and he was going. And the thing that does, it occupies a man. So now that DeMonte can go and Allen can go and AJ can go, and by occupying a man, it frees up an area. And then those guys can get those. And we've got to get back to that. And then defensively, we've got to be the first to hit. We've got to draw first contact and not be the one who absorbs the blow. And that's what we did in the Indiana game. And Georgie's a big part of that, and he can't be a double-double guy every night.
Allen and Ted got some run together in Indiana, and they've played some together this year. Just what do you like about those two on the court at the same time?
Well, I like their length. I like their athleticism. They give us guys that have the ability to shoot the ball. We need them to start making it instead of being shooters. We need them to be makers. But I think that's comfort. It's the future in terms of those guys continually gaining experience. Those two guys on the wing have a lot of length, and they both can rebound, and that's what we're looking for. Thank you.